you are actually a likely candidate of eating disorders. Because, I mean, you will do everything to avoid that githeri.
Sure.
Because it reminds you of poverty. So, who told you that food is supposed to be a wealth measure index? So many of us are sick out here.
Welcome to Nutrition Nyumbani, towards a healthier you. My name is Magdalene Nelima and I am joined by Madam Noeline Nancy, a nutritionist here at Nutrition Nyumbani. Now, in this particular channel, of course, we talk about food and things related to foods a lot. For us to talk about food, it means we are talking about what you eat. Now, an eating disorder can be a very important thing to talk about here. Madam, you can just tell us the diet test that one can perform in order for them to know if they are likely to get an eating disorder, because I know it's a problem, right?
Very much. And actually, during Corona times, so funny, the Nutrition Nyumbani was born during Corona times. And during those Corona times, eating disorders went up by 70%.
So much.
Yes, that's so high. So, I think the first thing we should start with is just being able to define what an eating order is. Because for us, you know, the way I first understood eating disorders, you know how mad a student like me is I will ask myself, for me to have a disorder, there must be an order first. Because disorder comes from order. Then when I go against the order, then it becomes a disorder.
So there's an eating order.
Oh yes.
Wow.
Eating order is simply the correct manner in which you are supposed to eat. In terms of our three fundamental principles in Nutrition Nyumbani, in terms of meal frequency, meal timing, and food type score. So, the moment you've gone against your number of meals per day, you are more likely to develop a disorder. That is, we're doing a diet test. How to know if I am very likely to develop an eating disorder. Any deviation from what is considered correct with regards to my number of meals per day, what we refer to as meal frequency, meal timings, at what times am I eating, especially the first and last meals of my day, and the third being food type score, in terms of which food am I eating and what quantity. Anytime you go against this and you make it a habit, like until in your mind it now becomes okay, that is now becoming an eating disorder. Our simplest way of defining an eating disorder.
So many of us have eating disorders out
Very
there.
many. Very.
There are so many victims.
Yes. So, how do you know you are more likely to get that eating disorder? One, if you are not sticking to the number of meals you are supposed to take on a certain day, and you do it on most days until it becomes a habit, you are a likely candidate of eating disorders. That means you are either taking very little and yet you're doing so much work, and it's not like you have an excess you need to lose, or you are taking too much and yet you already have too much and you don't actually need, you're not going to use it. You are a candidate of eating disorder. Run very fast before it gets worse, or become conscious. Retrieve your powers. Control how many meals you are taking per day, at what time, and what are you eating, what quantity, so that you can keep to a correct eating order that will ensure that you are living healthy, so you will be, you know, not suffer a lot of these lifestyle diseases. Because lifestyle, I see it as a factor rotating around these three major things. If you are that kind of person who is having a lot of love for a certain food, you are a likely candidate of eating disorders. If I tell you what is your best dish and you easily tell me, oh, chapati, mandazi, do what, it means you will do anything to have your best food most of the time. When you are doing everything to have your best food most of the time, regardless of whether it is nutritionally fit, you are likely to have an eating disorder. If you can easily point at me and tell me, you see, this is my worst food, it means you don't even care about the nutrition benefit that it has. You just say it's your worst food, not from a point of nutrition defects. You are actually a likely candidate of eating disorders. Because, you will do everything to avoid that githeri.
Sure.
Because it reminds you of poverty. So, who told you that food is supposed to be a wealth measure index? So many of us are sick out here. Then, if you are more likely to miss your food, you are also a candidate of eating disorders. Notice, I did say if you skip, and even if I said if you skip your meals, notice I did say if you skip eating your food at 8 a.m. No. If you skip eating your foods as at the time you regularly eat. If your breakfast is usually at 1 a.m. and you realize that for 1 week you have not eaten breakfast, and it's not like you moved it, no. You just skipped it completely. Not for any reason, either religious or something, or medical. You are likely candidate of eating disorders. Because could it be that now you are developing food aversions? So that then you just get to avoid some or all foods completely, thinking you will score that way. It's coming to be a problem. You should relate with food in a healthy manner. Take control over it. Eat when you're supposed to eat. Don't eat because people are going for lunch. You are not hungry, don't eat. You are hungry, go and eat. Do you control how many times that you eat? If you are able to control and you're able to say no, then you are good. But if you can't say no, because somebody called you for something you call your best dish, you are a likely candidate of an eating disorder. Have you marked your score? A very high score means you should start visiting Nutrition Nyumbani immediately. You are a sick person. It's just sickness waiting to erupt. Before it erupts, run quickly because prevention is better than cure.
I think I get the point of, I think also bad food choices can lead to eating disorders, because if you choose foods in a bad way, and maybe the foods do not bring satiety, so you keep eating because you keep getting angry. It
and that's why we talked about having a best food, not considering the benefits it brings you in terms of nutrition. You're just considering what you feel. You have attached your feelings to food. And feelings fluctuate badly and they are so weak. When you do that, you are actually you are most likely to make very poor food choices. That way you are actually a likely candidate of eating disorders. So that one is a self-diagnosis you can do at home. And run and seek for help. We are here to help you at Nutrition Nyumbani. If you are always skipping your foods or you avoid, if you try to create excuses when people are serving food. If you're on a weight loss program, just make it clear so that people can hold you accountable. If you are also that kind of person who likes hiding while eating, you are a candidate most likely to suffer from eating disorders. Because why are you hiding? It means something in you is telling you something is wrong, either with your choice or just how much you're taking. You have a best food. Evaluate how many times do you cook it and what is its nutrition value. They are not balancing, you are a candidate. Before it erupts, run very fast. Save yourself a tragedy because it's about to erupt.
Wow. And especially that part of my best food. It captures so many people. Like in this way, maybe someone is stressed or angry. They tend to
You see,
eat
best tends to, it's controlled by a certain part of the brain that controls emotions. And you know, emotions are very weak. And so you will always lean towards that to seek comfort. Now you have stopped seeing food for its purpose to provide nourishment. You are seeing it for a new purpose, according to you, of soothing your emotions. You know, once I was giving a talk somewhere and I asked somebody, have you ever lost your family member? You stopped eating. Did the patient or did your family member resurrect? No. That means you are trying to create another problem out of somebody else's funeral. Live your life to fullest. I'm not saying that losing somebody or losing a job is not painful. It is very painful. But there are suitable ways to deal with that, not resulting to food. Until now you ate something so much when you were young, you didn't have money, so now you have money, you need to prove. Okay, prove. Oh yeah, we are waiting for you on this other side. When you are visited by these sick conditions, we will be here to sort you out. If you cannot come and run now to be helped to prevent such. Because that's just a mind issue. You just need a serious mental orientation.
That's a very mind-blowing information, and I know it touches many of us because you have seen yourself in somewhere.
Oh, yes.
In the way she explained it, and I know that you will be able to correct it and live healthy as our mission states towards a healthier you. So subscribe, comment and share. Let's meet in our next sessions.